Hi, everyone. I am Laura Simpson with Web Luminary, and I am making this video mostly for clients that might need to make some edits on their website. And I design WordPress websites using Elementor. And I'm going to show you how to make edits in Elementor. So let me share my screen. I have to move this. And I am going to make edits on my own website because I don't really have any edits that I need to make on clients right now. And if I'm going to go into a website, I might as well go into my own. So here I am. And the first thing you need to do is log in. So most WordPress websites start out this way, and the way that you log in is go to your website and then at the end type in /, well, look at the top, WP-admin, and you'll be taken to a login screen. So I have my login and password autofilled from LastPass, which is a great password organizer. So I highly recommend them. But anyway, now that you see how to log in, I typed in my username. My password is sitting there, and it's taking a second longer than normal to log in right now because I am recording, and that takes up a lot of bandwidth. So hopefully in 2 or 3 seconds, I'll be in. Now let me close down some stuff. Okay. Second close. Here we go. Whoosh. Yeah, that took way longer than normal, just trust me. But thanks for your patience. And I'm going to go back to the main section that people are used to seeing, which is the front. We call it the front end. This is the front of my website, but I'm logged in now. So what you'll see is at the top, there's a menu. And this is a lot less intimidating than the screen that I was on a second ago. So just to go back to that, I was here at the dashboard. And again, lots of intimidation here. But if you click at the top left with the little house and hit visit site, it'll take you to what you're used to seeing. And this is what I love about Elementor, is that when we go into the editor, you're going to see what you see is what you get. WYSIWYG, it's a very technical, not that technical of a word, but you see is what you get. So I just hit edit with Elementor without really explaining what I did. Let me go back. Let me hit the back button. Slow down here. I'm so used to working in my fast mode. Edit with Elementor. So whenever you see that, that means your page was built with Elementor. And don't click on this stuff at the bottom. This will take you somewhere else, but this right here will take you into editing this particular page. And it'll take you into the editor, Elementor. So I'm clicking on that. And actually write down some text that I want to add so that you can see how to add some text, and I'll show you how to edit text too. So here we are. Screen is here. So if I wanted to edit this, I would click into wherever I wanted to edit. So if I wanted to change the picture, I go here. We're not going to do that yet. If I want to change this text, I need to click on top of the text. And you see this little pencil thing comes up. And whenever that pencil thing comes up, the editor appears. So right now we're in the text editor. And this is just basic text. And actually, this is my header too. My header one is below. If I wanted to change these words, so let's just say I want to take the dash out, I do it here. Pretty easy. I can add to this. So I'm going to do that. Okay, so I added another line, and to get this to save, I hit the update button, which is down here, it's a green button. Voila. Let's say that I want this on a whole, I don't want this to wrap, I want this on a whole line. Then we need to add an element. So I'm going to just highlight this and hit Control X. And instead, I'm going to add another text element. And I can add a heading or paragraph text. I'm going to add a heading. That's really what that was. Instead of, and then as you can see, and all I did was a drag and drop. So let me delete this. Show it again. See, and highlighted where it was going. If I wanted here, it'd go there, go there. And I'm going to paste my text over right here. So I don't know if I like how this looks, but that's okay. I'm just showing you how to do something and adding a heading. So this is to justify left, and this is centered, as you can see. So with the alignments down here, and the style is here. So I can change the color, and I can move it around. I can make it red. What I like to do on my websites is save colors. You might have to scroll down so that your brand colors are there. So my brand colors are a little far down. Web luminary dark blue. So this is how I change colors. If I want the text to be a different font, which don't do that if I designed your website, because you're just adding fonts and you're adding speed or adding load time, adding files to your website. So don't do that. But this is where you can, if someone's watching this and I didn't design your website, you can make this really bold. You can transform this to all uppercase. You can change the line height. Make this italic. Black. Clear it out so that it uses the default color. I'm going to clear this out back to default. Sorry, as I change the wording here. Oh, it says work because clients will call you. I need to talk to my content writer, but there you go. Let's say I wanted to add, so that I wanted to show you how to add text, and I've done that. And again, you go here. You can click on these little dominoes. I don't know what these squares are, but this will take you to all the different things you can do, and adding a heading and adding text. Again, this is just normal text. Testing is the way to go. It's the number one thing you might probably want to do. So let me, and then you can right click, that's what I'm doing, and hit delete. Or you can, I think that's the only way you can delete. Just hit that. Right click with your mouse. So now I'm going to add a button. So I went up here, and here's button. So as you can see, it's a pretty boring looking button. And again, you go to style, and you can change the background color. You can change the text color. I just want to show you how you can do it here too. The world is the saved colors. This is white. Make the hover color different. So when you hover over it, it's different. I mean, it makes a little noise too. Not really, I'm just kidding. And the content is where you change. You can add an icon. Okay. Guess I don't have that loaded. Icon library. I like I like these. To see, you can make the icon go before and after. The most important thing to do, which I have not done yet, is when you're adding a button, it needs to go somewhere. So let's say it's going to go to my contact page. I can just type in contact, and the URL will appear. Or if you are going outside of your website, I'm going to go to, let's go to site. Let's go here. This is a potential client. Just copying and pasting their URL. I can go here, and it's taking me somewhere completely different. So this is important. You make sure you add a link. And there is a way to make sure that it opens in a new window. Type default info, icon spacing. It used to be right here. Oh, you can add a border. While I'm here, I'll show you how. And then we have the border be and must be a way to open it in new. had to hit the gear shift. They hit this there's little tweaks every time when they come up with new versions of this. So I hit the little gear shift and I can open this in a new window. I would recommend that if you're going outside your website with a link, but if you're just linking to your contact page, you don't do that. So anyway, I'm going to delete this because I don't want this here. So I just right clicked on it again. Right clicked, highlighted it, and I'm going to delete. Update. So now I've shown you how to log in. I've showed you how to edit text, and we've done a heading, we've done a button, and I'm going to show you two more things. I'm going to show you how to add a video and a divider. Three more things: a header, a divider, and a video, a divider, and a testimonial. And then we'll be done with this video. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to do images. My dog is scratching. Let me open the door. There's my dog. She just kept on scratching. So let's add a video. There is no space here for a video. So you could, well, I could put one here. But let's just say you want to add a video up here. You would click at the area below where you want it to go and wait for this tab to come up, this blue tab, and hit the plus sign. And then you're going to hit a plus sign again and decide what kind of structure you want. Above, I have two. Here, I'm going to just do one big long bar. And then I'm going to go back to this area and hit video. These are widgets. So the text editor, the heading, the button are all widgets. Video is another widget. And as you can see, here comes a video, and the default is YouTube, but you can also link to Dailymotion, Venmo, and then self-hosted means it's saved inside your website. I don't recommend that because that would really add a huge file to your website that doesn't need to be there. And there are exceptions to that, and I have done it, but for you, don't do that. Upload your video first on YouTube or Venmo or Dailymotion, and then link to it here. You can have it autoplay. I don't recommend that because that's just annoys people, but you can. You can mute it. You can have it play over and over with a loop. And you can show player controls or not. And this is one thing I do recommend is that you add it to lazy load, which means that it only shows up on the screen as the user is scrolling down so that it doesn't load the very first time someone's trying to get on your website. That will slow it down. So that's how you add a video. And again, I'm going to right click here. Yeah, two things happened. Delete did not come up. So I'm going to hit this X. Let's save again. And then another thing we can add up here is a divider. So we go back to this square, we hit divider. It's Y. So Y again. You can change the color. sick. You can give it space. I use them. And they have their place. But I won't delete it here because it bothers me here. But that's how you add a divider. And then the last thing that you will probably want to do is add a testimonial. And I'm going to scroll down to mine just so you see that I do recommend having testimonials on your website. And sometimes when I do, well, every time I do a website, there's potential for clients to get testimonials that they want to add to their website after the fact. So this is how you do that. And I'm doing this on my home screen. And here I have a button that goes to my testimonial page, view page, so that you can see more, but I put a couple on the home page because I want people to click and see more if they want to see more, just so they know I don't just have 2 reviews. But anyway, I'm going to add a review down here. I do have a review I could add, but I'll just show you how. So it's called testimonials here. And I don't see this widget, but I know it's called testimonials. So I started typing up here in the little search bar and it said testimonial. There's other things you can do. Let me go back to that screen. This is a slider. This is a carousel, which is almost the exact same thing. I don't like those. And the reason I don't like them is because from usability standpoint and a user experience standpoint, users hate them and they don't read them. So if you want people to read your testimonials, don't do them as a slider. That's my advice. People are more likely to scroll. And actually, I'm going to copy this. This is another good thing to show you. So I have this little quote thing image here. It's just an icon. I like it. So I'm going to right click on it. Okay. And then this dialog, and I'm going to copy it. And then I'm going to right click again and hit paste. Oh, as you can see, it was below my sample testimonial. So I'm just going to pick it up and holding down my mouse. And I'm moving it. So that's a good thing to do too. It's already green, but let's say it wasn't. We go to style. Make it black. Go back to green. So that's and I can make it bigger, small. That's the other thing about copying and pasting. It's going to be exactly the same and uniform. And I could so as you can see, go to the left to type in the comments, add their image. I'm going to go over images in my next video. And but I'll show you this right now. Let's say that they already are loaded. Here's Brian. And he's already loaded. And as you can see, I can type in his name here. And if I want to put a link to his website, I can. I actually don't want to do that here because I don't want people being distracted from me and going to look at his website. At this point, I do have a portfolio where I link. And there you go. That's how you add in your testimonial. Don't forget to say update. And I'm going to update it. And then I'm going to show you one more thing that you need to check. So I've done a few things here. And whenever you edit a page, you need to make sure it doesn't look bad on mobile. And you could get out your cell phone and type in your URL, but a faster, when you're doing a small edit, that's really not necessary. So what I do is I go down here and there's a responsive mode. It looks like a cell phone sitting on top of a desktop computer. You hit that and then the dialog appears up here. And if you want to see what this page looks like on mobile, you hit the mobile one. And then, I don't know, I guess because I was in edit mode here, it scrolled down automatically, but so it's good that I did this because this isn't centered. So let me center this. And as I'm saving this, it's not supposed to save on the desktop version, but go back and check it. Here's my menu. This looks really good. I mean, I click on this because this messes up sometimes. I don't know why. Well, I've never had it happen on my website, but other people that I've helped out with that. So sometimes you might want to change the typography here, which I mean font. So I'm going to hit style. And I might want to make this a little bit smaller. This is a little overbearing here. Obviously, I did this change and got distracted and did not do it everywhere. This isn't centered either. So you can see what's going on. It's kind of good to kind of go through here and make sure your pages look good. Looks like I have a lot of centering button problems. But let's go through my whole website. It looks good. I'm going to hit update again. Go back to the desktop and give it a once over and make sure everything looks good. Yeah, this looks good. I'll delete this because this isn't need to be here. And that's it for video 1. Learn how to edit text, add a section, add a testimonial, a divider, and that's for the most part all you're going to want to do, except for images, which is going to, it's a little extra layer, so that's going to be my next video. And again, this is Laura Simpson for Web Luminary. Thank you for listening.